Mike Brown's family announces their plans to pursue a wrongful death lawsuit against Darren Wilson and the Ferguson Police Department. Yes, indeed, it is true. They will file a lawsuit. This is the Mike Brown family will file a lawsuit in Missouri against former Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson, as well as the Ferguson Police Department. The news comes just days after the Department of Justice finally announced its decision not to file federal charges against Wilson in the fatal murder of Brown last July. In a press conference, family attorney Anthony Gray expressed the family's disappointment in the Justice Department's decision and announced the next legal action they plan to take. And this is what he says in his statement: "We will officially formulate a civil case that we anticipate will be filed very shortly on behalf of the family. We plan to demonstrate in the court of law that Wilson's choices to use deadly force was unreasonable and unnecessary." Now, the parents of Michael Brown, Lesley McSpadden and Michael Brown Sr., attended the conference but did not make any comments. However, their frustration with the police department's decision widely shared by many local officials, residents, and protesters, some of whom took to the streets Wednesday evening to demonstrate their outrage. America, here is the thing. Now, I get it, right? In the Justice Department's eyes, they didn't feel as though this rose to the level where there was indeed a civil rights violation, and that's fine. But let's not dispute the facts. Now, I've heard a lot of folks out there on both sides say he really didn't have his hands up, blah, 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 blah. And, oh, he robbed a store. And here's my thing. Let's look at the crime. Let's look at the crime as the crime was committed, not look at all the externalities that got us to the crime. And I think that's the problem here. So this is the one time in life where we should be looking at this in a vacuum. Whether or not Mike Brown robbed the store, whether or not he pushed somebody, whether or not he roughed up the clerk, at the time he was shot by Darren Wilson, he was not a suspect in the robbery, number one. Number two, Darren Wilson's mannerisms toward Michael Brown were at best disrespectful. At best disrespectful. Or at worst, I guess, disrespectful. Right? Get the F out the street, you know. And nobody was there. Nobody knows if there was a tussle or not a tussle, but a tussle doesn't end in 10 shots. One to the hand, one to the top of the head. Indeed, America, the evidence was handled horribly. Mike Brown spent 4 hours laying on that street in Ferguson, Missouri. There is indeed a civil rights violation here, and there's indeed a strong civil case, and we here at the Fowler Show, we stand with the Brown family as we continue to fight for justice for Michael Brown.